It's Wednesday, April the 22nd, 2026. You're listening to the DX Today AI Daily Brief. Today, Amazon pours another $5 billion into Anthropic to lock in 5 gigawatts of compute. Jeff Bezos nears a $10 billion round for his secretive physical AI lab. And SpaceX reveals a $60 billion option to buy coding startup Cursor. Let's get into it.
Amazon is deepening its bet on Anthropic. The company announced an additional $1 billion investment, with up to $20 billion more committed over time, bringing Amazon's total potential stake to $33 billion. The bigger story is compute. Anthropic signed a new agreement with Amazon Web Services to secure up to 5 gigawatts of capacity for training and deploying Claude. That includes new Trainium 2 systems coming online in the first half of this year, and nearly 1 gigawatt of combined Trainium 2 and Trainium 3 capacity by the end of 2026. Anthropic is committing more than $100 billion to AWS over the next decade. Both companies are also expanding Project Rainier, one of the largest AI clusters in the world, running roughly 500,000 Trainium 2 chips.
From the cloud to the physical world.
Jeff Bezos is closing in on a $10 billion funding round for his new artificial intelligence company, Project Prometheus. According to reports published April 21st, the raise would value Prometheus at roughly $38 billion, with JP Morgan and BlackRock among the lead investors. This would be Bezos's first operational role at a tech company since he left Amazon in 2021. He co-founded Prometheus in November of last year with Vikram Bajaj, and the company is focused on so-called physical AI, systems that learn by interacting with the real world rather than from text alone. Target markets include engineering, manufacturing, aerospace, robotics, and drug discovery. Once this round closes, total funding would exceed $16 billion, cementing Prometheus as one of the best capitalized AI labs outside of OpenAI and Anthropic.
Now, a sweeping voice AI merger.
SoundHound AI announced plans to acquire LivePerson in an all-stock deal on April 21st. The transaction values LivePerson's equity at roughly $43 million, a 22% premium over recent trading levels, with a total enterprise value of about $250 million. The combined company will pair SoundHound's conversational and voice AI platform with LivePerson's digital messaging footprint across enterprise customer service. Executives said the deal gives them access to tens of billions of annual customer interactions, a rich training set for more capable agents. The combined entity expects to serve thousands of enterprise brands across banking, retail, travel, and telecommunications. SoundHound shares rose on the news. Closing is expected in the second half of this year, subject to regulatory and shareholder approval.
Next, OpenAI broadens Codex.
OpenAI pushed out what it's calling Codex for almost everything on April 21st. The update transforms Codex from a coding assistant into a general-purpose computer use agent. Codex can now see your screen, click, type, operate web browsers, generate images, and remember preferences across sessions. Multiple agents can work on your Mac in parallel without interfering with your active work. OpenAI also shipped a standalone installer, Windows and Intel Mac desktop fixes, a richer terminal interface, expanded plugin support, and stronger file system sandboxing. The company said more than 3 million developers use Codex every week. Computer use remains macOS only at launch and is not yet available in the European Union or the United Kingdom, pending regulatory review. It marks OpenAI's deepest push yet into agentic workflows.
A new open-weight heavyweight.
Moonshot AI released Kimi K 2.6 to the open-source community on April 21st. The trillion-parameter mixture of experts model is built for long-running agentic coding with 12-hour autonomous sessions and agent swarms of up to 300 coordinated sub-agents running 4,000 steps. The context window has grown to 262,000 tokens, enough to hold a mid-sized code repository alongside its test output. Moonshot reported strong benchmark results, including 54 on humanity's last exam with tools and 59 on SWE Bench Pro. The model is available through Kimi.com, the developer API, Kimi Code, and Ollama. It's Moonshot's strongest claim yet that open-source AI has caught up with the proprietary frontier, and it continues a remarkable run of Chinese open-weight releases this quarter.
From code to rockets.
SpaceX disclosed a striking new arrangement with coding startup Cursor on April 21st. According to a post on X and subsequent filings, SpaceX holds a right to acquire Cursor for $60 billion later this year, or alternatively pay $10 billion for their current collaboration. The partnership pairs Cursor's developer tools and distribution to expert software engineers with SpaceX's Colossus supercomputer, which the company says has compute equivalent to roughly 1 million NVIDIA H100 chips. Cursor was already in talks to raise $2 billion at a $50 billion valuation earlier this month, so the SpaceX option effectively sets a ceiling above that. Elon Musk merged SpaceX and xAI in February in a deal he valued at $1.25 trillion.
Professional services goes all in.
Accounting and advisory firm CBIZ expanded its AI partnership with Microsoft on April 21st. The firm is rolling out Microsoft 365 Copilot to every team member and building an agent-native operating platform on top of Microsoft Foundry and Copilot Studio. CBIZ says it will embed AI agents across its service lines to automate multi-step workflows, not just answer questions. The rollout includes structured AI training paths for more than 9,500 employees to upskill them into agent-oriented work. CBIZ positioned the move as central to its talent strategy, citing recruitment, retention, and productivity gains. It's a notable bet from a mid-market professional services firm, and a signal that Copilot-based agent platforms are beginning to anchor white-collar AI transformation outside of the Fortune 100.
And in marketing technology,
Omnicom and Adobe announced an expanded partnership on April 21st to co-develop an enterprise-grade, industry-specialized AI agentic operating model. The two companies will integrate Omnicom's proprietary Omni marketing and sales platform and agentic framework with Adobe's Experience Cloud, Firefly, and Creative Technology stack. The pitch is a connected environment where AI agents handle end-to-end campaign workflows, from audience segmentation and creative generation to media activation and measurement. Both companies framed the partnership as a response to client demand for AI systems that take real action, not just produce insights. This is the latest move by a major agency holding company to anchor itself to a foundational AI platform, and it deepens Adobe's push to become the infrastructure layer for enterprise marketing AI.
onto vertical AI funding.
Medical device intelligence startup AcuityMD raised $80 million in a Series C round on April 21st, valuing the company at $955 million. AcuityMD sells an AI-powered commercial platform to medtech manufacturers, helping reps surface the right surgeons, hospitals, and procedures across an increasingly fragmented care landscape. The company said its tools are now used across most major medtech firms in the United States, driving improvements in pipeline forecasting and rep productivity. New capital will go toward deepening its clinical data graph, expanding into international markets, and building generative AI features for automated account planning. Investors see medtech sales as a natural wedge for domain-specific AI because the workflows are complex, the stakes are high, and the data sits in silos that generic tools don't touch.
Now a leap in autonomous aviation.
Reliable Robotics raised $160 million in a private funding round on April 21st to accelerate deployment of its autonomous aircraft system. The Silicon Valley company is developing technology that can fly existing cargo aircraft without a pilot on board, and says it already has commitments for more than 200 systems from commercial and military customers. Reliable has previously completed fully uncrewed demonstration flights with partners, including the United States Air Force, and is working with the Federal Aviation Administration on a certification pathway. The new capital will push the company toward commercial service and scale up manufacturing. Aviation autonomy has been notoriously slow to commercialize, but the fresh round suggests investors believe Reliable is closer than any rival to a certifiable revenue-generating product.
A speech AI release from China.
Alibaba's Tongyi Lab released FunASR 1.5 on April 21st, an end-to-end automatic speech recognition model covering 30 languages. The model supports native code switching, meaning it can accurately transcribe conversations that mix multiple languages inside a single utterance, a long-standing weakness of earlier ASR systems. It also returns auto-formatted text with punctuation, capitalization, and numeric normalization out of the box. Alibaba is positioning FunASR 1.5 as a production-ready component for voice agents, call center analytics, and real-time multilingual meeting transcription. The release continues a steady drumbeat of Chinese open-weight speech and multimodal models this year, tightening the global competition around voice infrastructure, an area that has historically been dominated by a small handful of U.S. providers.
And finally, the humanoid gap.
A new CNBC analysis published April 21st crystallized a striking divergence in the humanoid robotics market. Chinese startups are already shipping robots into factories, airports, and malls, while most U.S. rivals remain focused on development and higher valuations. AI2 Robotics, valued at roughly $2.93 billion, is rolling out machines in Chinese airports, semiconductor plants, and hospitals. Chinese humanoid startups took the top 6 spots in global robot shipment rankings for 2025. By contrast, U.S. leader Figure carries a valuation of at least $39 billion, and Apptronik is valued at $5 billion, reflecting a market that prices them as AI platforms, not hardware companies. The question is whether scale or software ultimately wins this race.
That's your briefing for Wednesday, April the 22nd, 2026. For DX Today, stay curious.